Warzone can be quite chaotic, and what better gun to cause chaos than the AK-47. This is going to be a guide for the AK-47 for solo battle royale Warzone. In this guide I'm gonna go over the AK, the strengths and all of the attachments that you will need for the AK. I'm also gonna show you my perks and my secondary. The AK-47 is a hard hitting gun that does a lot of damage. The only drawback of the AK is that it has a slower fire rate than the M4. But where it lacks in fire rate, it makes up in damage. The gun is good in medium range fights, and if you land headshots, it can kill your opponent in just a few shots. I really like the AK-47 because of the 75 round drum mag. With that amount of ammo you can take on multiple squads without reloading. The AK-47 is great for pre-firing. Usually the guy whoever shoots first in Warzone usually wins the fight. So use the AK to its advantage and always pre-fire with the AK. It's a little bit difficult to master the recoil of the AK, but once you've played a few rounds with the AK, you'll master it easily. Let's jump into the gun's attachments. For the muzzle, I went with the monolithic suppressor. This suppressor gives me sound suppression so I don't get revealed on the map while fighting opponents, and it gives me a little bit extra range for those opponents that's trying to run away that you have to spray down. For the AK, I went with the Romanian barrel. This barrel gives you basically an extra slot because it provides you an under barrel. It increases your damage range, your bullet velocity and recoil control. This barrel is important because of the recoil control. Your AK has a lot of recoils, so this will help you out a lot to control the AK's recoil. Next up we have the ammunition. I went with the 75 round mag drums. This is an amazing amount of ammo. With all of this ammo you can basically spray down teams, and you can also switch to the 30 round mag if you want a faster fire rate, but I don't recommend it. The AK is best with a lot of rounds. For the rear grip I went with the rubberized grip tape. Basically this allows me more recoil control. You can also switch out the rubberized grip tape for a perk. If you really want to include a perk, I'll switch out the grip for like fully loaded or sleight of hand. But I recommend going with the rubberized grip tape. For the stock for the AK, I went with no stock. Basically this gives me a lot of movement speed and mobility. And a big plus is aim down sight. This stock will allow you to move a little bit faster while aiming down sight. And it's a big plus to have a little bit more movement speed while aiming down sight with the AK while suppressing an enemy, so you can move into cover while suppress firing your enemy on a corner. For my secondary weapon I usually go with a handgun, in this case the M19. I chose the M19 just because I really like it. I use the pistol for flanking, so I will switch to my pistol if I have to flank my enemy and surprise him from a new corner. I'm always changing positions while fighting my enemy. Also the pistol can get you out of a pinch if you're in the zone. Your movement speed is really fast with the pistol. Also if you don't want to play with a pistol you can switch to a lancer. The RPG-7 is really good, just make sure not to kill yourself with the RPG. Now let's go over the perks. The perks that I run with the AK is Cold Blooded, Ghost and Tune Up. Basically I run Cold Blooded because it allows me to not be seen on thermal optics. I run Ghost for the same reason because I don't want to get picked up on the map. Late game a lot of people use UAVs to find their targets, and I want to stay in the dark and play more of a stealthy game style. And last but not least I went with the Tune Up perk. The tune-up perk allows you to self-revive 20% faster. Basically, all revives is 20% faster, even self-revives. So in solo, this is critical. If somebody knocks you, you want to revive yourself as fast as possible so you can survive another fight. For my lethal, I went with Thermite. Thermite is really good because you don't have to charge it or cook it. It's just instant. It's much better than the grenade in my opinion. The grenade is a hit or miss, but the Thermite is you can just chuck it and run. It offers you really good mobility. For my tactical, I went with the heartbeat sensor. The heartbeat sensor is really good for those house campers. Whenever you need to clear a house, use the heartbeat sensor. It's probably the best tactical that you can use for solos. If you've watched this far in the video, I would like to reward you with a few tips that you can utilize with the AK. But first, please consider hitting that subscribe button so you can get more content just like this. Now to the AK tips. For the first tip is that if your opponent is fighting with an SMG, just back off until you can fight them mid-range. The SMG damage will fall off mid-range, but your AK damage will still do a ton of damage. You can win close range fights, but with the lower fire rate of the AK, it can be a gamble. And the second tip that I want to give you is that with this loadout, you should always be flanking. Switch to your pistol for that extra flanking speed so you can flank your target. Mobility in this game is really underrated, use it to your advantage. And the third tip for the AK is that if you're in the open, you can suppress fire your opponent with your AK. Let's say you're running in the open and your target is peeking a corner. You can start suppress firing that corner until you get into safety. So basically you will start suppress firing that corner and you will slowly move to a tree or some type of cover next to you while firing. And if your opponent happens to peek again, you will probably die because you do a lot of damage with your AK. The AK is a beast of a gun and it's really good. You just have to play with it and start mastering it. The AK really just becomes really good once you've unlocked a few attachments. So don't get discouraged if you first die with the AK. It will get much better once you've unlocked a few attachments. I've also struggled with the AK in the beginning, but once I had a few attachments, I started getting kills left and right. If you want to level your AK, you can watch this video to learn how to level your guns as fast as possible. If you've liked this video, give it a like. Also subscribe, I post new content every Monday, Wednesday and Friday.